digital inclusiveness. And I've been advised that Prof. Chukwuere is on board. Before I close, may I just give Prof. Chukwuere an opportunity then to address us on digital accessibility. We've just heard about digital inclusiveness and accessibility, but then again, we have now challenges and opportunities for rural areas in as far as digital accessibility is concerned. Prof.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to speak on this great summit. And I think we have reached to a point whereby technology have changed so much that we cannot shy away from it. And that being the case, there is a need for us to understand, to apply technology in a way that it can really change life. And not just changing life, but changing life in the communities where there is little or no digital infrastructure and stuff like that. So that being said, there is a need for us to embrace technology and then be able to use it so that lives and everything can change. So I'll be talking about digital accessibility, looking at the challenges and the opportunities for rural areas, communities in our country and beyond. Okay, my name is Joshua Chukwuere. Now, looking at this very topic, you can see that digital accessibility and transformation is making a great wave, not just in the industry, but across every aspect of human life. But today, in order for us to have a very big impact, there is a need for us to ask, where are rural communities, areas, where are they in this whole transformation, in this whole digital accessibility? So when you look at what digital accessibility is all about, it's all about making digital technology available for all, irrespective of class, gender. Everyone should have access to it. But today now, our people, our rural communities having access to these technologies? And the answer may be yes, the answer may be no. But when we look at it very well, we can see that our rural communities have no basic infrastructure. That being said, then there is nothing one can say that there is a digital transformation and digital technology. They have access to it in a very large extent. So let's look at South African rural area. We found out that according to World Bank in 2019, there is 33% of South Africans are living in the rural area. And that is a very big number of our population in the rural communities where there's little or no basic infrastructure. So if we have this great percentage, and when we say rural communities area, these are townships, these are places that are outside the city, outside the township, where you have no good road, water, and all the essential needs of human beings are not there. So now, for us to understand this, we need to look at this question. Are digital technology available? If so, are they accessible? If so, what are the opportunities? What are the challenges? And which way forward? Which way forward in terms of how do we go from here in order to make technology transformation, digital technologies available for people in the rural areas. Okay. So now, because these are technology devices, when we talk about digital technology, resources, systems that collect, process, and then store information or data in order to bridge digital divide, which have been spoken about from the previous speakers. And now, for this digital divide to, to, be, to be eradicated or to be taken away, there is a need for us to have a digital disruption, which we are seeing today in our world. We are looking at, we are seeing it from the angle of big data, Internet of the IoT technologies, even smartphones, AI, and all the rest of them. These are different digital technologies that have come on board to change how human live their life. And all these things are making life more better for the people, for the communities, but the rural communities are somehow being left out. And for the society at large, South Africa to move forward, looking at KZN and all the places, all the provinces to move forward, there is a need for us to rethink how we can be able to bring this great number of communities, which about 33% on board, so that they can be able to benefit from the current wave of technology. Because at the end of the day, when we are able to address this digital divide, bringing in digital disruption and all the rest of them, making it accessible, we find out that it's going to increase decision making in the society, decision making from the government, from the private sectors, and all the rest of them. Now, are this technology available? Now, there are factors that determine the availability of digital technologies, and with those factors are infrastructure, hardware, software. Now, when we go to the rural communities, do we have those things there? Do we have enough infrastructure that can power, that can be able to engineer the kind of technology that we need today in our society, in the community? Is it there? So when we have no basic or even a medium kind of infrastructure in the communities, what are we talking about? Then they are being left out. There will be total exclusion, which doctor just spoke about. They will be excluded from digital transformation and all the rest of them. So there is, for digital technology to be available, for us to have digital accessibility, there should be enough infrastructure in the communities, software, hardware, and all the rest of them. Now, when we talk about digital accessibility, these are what current technologies and tools that are available for everyone in the rural area, the rural communities. Now, the question is, are they available? Are this technology available for the people to use? And now, for this to be available for people to use in the communities, we need to talk about awareness. Do they really understand what this technology can do for them? What digital transformation can do for them? Do they really understand a fourth industrial revolution we are in now and beyond? Are they aware of all these things and the potential benefit it can bring to them? What about the cost of getting these technologies? So the accessibility is being determined by the level of awareness, by the cost, easy to use, their perception. Because one thing that I've been found out in research is this, that where there is a good perception of technology, you find out that the usage will increase. Now, what about the infrastructure which I've talked about? What about the policy that addresses all these kind of challenges? making sure that there is enough infrastructure, there's enough investment, and all the rest of them. So for us to have a digital accessibility in the communities, these are very key elements that will be addressed, not just from the government, private sectors, and all and beyond. There should be awareness. There should be the cost. They should be considered. How do we bring down the cost of getting these technologies for them to be able to? And today now, what COVID have done to us is that it have made it obvious the need for digital accessibility to be accelerated, so that what people in the communities, people in the rural areas can have access to these things, so they can have an equal opportunity, an equal life with people in the cities and in the towns. So those policies should address all these things. How do we ensure that citizens in the communities have access to these technologies so that they can be able to compete with the people in the towns and in the cities? So the opportunities that lies with digital accessibilities are very enormous. Now, however, for this to happen, we found out that digital accessibility have opened the door for access to information, which goes with opportunity that comes with that very access. Now, access to what? To education. Since COVID, since last 2020, when we first had the first lockdown, we found out that everyone was indoor, but life continued. But we found out that people in the communities who have little or no access to all these things, they were hard hit with the effect of COVID. But when there is digital accessibility, we found out that they will have access to education, whether primary, whether secondary, whether tertiary, there is there. Government information, employment, health, and not just that, having access to the world at large, which comes with a lot of opportunity that comes with open, equal access to communication. They're able to share data, resources, content with the rest of the world, and also participate in the current digital society we're in now, which got to do with active participation and effective participation. That is very great. And all these things are what people in the towns and in the cities are benefiting. Now, that exclusion will not be there. Rather, there will be inclusivity of technology for everyone in the society. However, for this opportunity to be addressed, we need to understand there are challenges it comes with. Now, what are the challenges that is facing current digital accessibility, which we have talked about, things that can be addressed? Now, the things that comes on board, there is a need for awareness. There's lack of awareness in the communities, what technology can do. They hear about AI, big data, and all the rest, but they don't know about these things, how they can benefit, how they can maximize the opportunity that lies with all these technologies that are coming up, many technologies. So there is limited or even lack of resources. Infrastructure is not there. These are challenges. There are lack of professionals to understand digital tools and even to teach the people about digital tools or digital technologies. What about security? They are worried about security, the level of security in all these devices that have been talked about. What about their job security? If we bring these things in the community, won't we lose our jobs and all the rest of them? And also the element of culture. Remember, culture is a way of life of people in a particular area. And these things are more practiced in the communities. So there is gonna be playing, it's gonna be hitting with their culture, whereby they will say, can this thing prevent me from doing this? Is it gonna be against our traditions and cultures? So these things are and also the legislation that are there. And then the skill and the availability. So all these things are playing against digital accessibility. So which way forward? Before we come to the end of this presentation, there is a need for private sectors, government, individuals, academians, and all the rest of them to begin to create awareness so that people can understand what this technology can do. Investment and building infrastructures. And then also that infrastructure should be on the emerging technologies, which brings about smart technologies and all the rest of them. Then how do we turn around to make our communities, smart communities, smart rural areas, smart townships, and all the rest of them? Because when these things are being discovered, when these things are being converted, you find out they will have access to all these digital technologies and all the rest of them. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you very much. The major question